education, public safety, healthcare, government, business. These and other important issues affecting our local community are identified and discussed with local and civic leaders here on Community Impact. Now with today's guest, here's our host, Jay Perlise.
Welcome to Community Impact. My guest today is Arlene Sullivan. She is an artist, she is an educator, and she is also the founder of a wonderful organization called Changing Images Art Foundation. And we're going to talk to her today about that and more. Hey, Arlene.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's great to have you.
It's a good opportunity.
Oh, it's wonderful. And I love the organization. I love what you guys do. Why don't you explain it to our viewers?
Well, we go into hospitals, all the units, clinics, nursing homes, shelters, and we just bring artwork. Beyond the lobbies, which are always decorated very nicely, there's nothing. It's sterile, clean, but sterile. So we like to bring in the outdoor scenes and bring them in. We create the designs after talking to the facilities, so that they come from the people that live there, and that's what we do. And we ask everybody to pick up a paintbrush and add a little, their own personal brush stroke. It's not crazy. It's very well organized. It doesn't sound like it at first. It's kind of an organized chaos. But in the end, they end up with professional murals, and they're very excited about them. And they laugh. What's exciting is it works for the people that paint, and it works for the people that work there after they're done, and the visitors that come in afterwards. So it has like an ongoing effect.
Now, this all kind of hatched from a personal story.
Yeah, when our youngest son was 2 weeks old, we ended up in the hospital, and you're going along, you figure life is going to be whatever, and then all of a sudden, boop, you're in the hospital. So we were there 2 months, and the hospital was they saved his life, literally. So they were just so professional. It was great staff, but there was nothing to look at. So you're in this room, you have all these wires, you have no idea what the wires are, the machines are, there's this beeping, and it beeps, beep, 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 and then all of a sudden there's a beep off, and you're breathing to the beeps, and you don't even know why, and you really need something. You're there 24 hours a day, so you really need something calming. And just, to look at a butterfly, on the wall, you say, wow, you know what, I remember, I had a garden and the butterflies were there, and just for a few minutes you're someplace else and your stress level comes down, and I don't think people realize the power of paint, and
a little color in their life. Yeah. So here you are with your son. You're in the intensive care unit, and your son was ill for quite some time. I mean, we're talking a couple of months.
We were in intensive care. They weren't really sure what happened at first. He had like a seizure, which I never want to see again. And then they found out a blood vessel had broken and thankfully healed itself. But there was, after effects. So he had quite a number of surgeries. And, that's where you are. And you just want to get out, like you think you have control over your life, but you really have none. And this really kind of, puts it right in your face. So it's just so important. And as I said, the facility was they literally saved his life. But it looked like, they and I'm probably being insulting, but it looked like they went to the gas station, filled up their tank, they gave him a gallon of paint, and they painted a wall. I mean, nothing matched. It was like a horror show. And, as an art educator and an artist, you look at that and you're like, can I just paint something here? Anything to look at. So, and I figure I can't be the only person that's feeling that. So, so that's how this all kind of came about.
Amazing. So your son gets better. We should let everybody know your son's doing great.
Yes.
Yeah. And you decide that
it's a gift. I'm so thankful for his health. This, to me, is like a gift that I give every time I get the occasion to paint. I'm just, thank you. Thank you for his health, my family's health, my children's health. Thank you. It makes a difference.
And I'm curious, the first place that you create, a mural is?
I wore down the resistance of the hospital administrator because
That your son was in?
Yes.
Yeah.
And every day, I would go in and I'm like, just let me paint it, just something. She's like, no, you're crazy, go away. Because it sounds crazy, yes, I'm going to draw this thing on the wall and everybody's going to come and paint it. And they're like, no, psych is on the 5th floor and that's where you should be. and finally she's like, go do it. Just do it, And so we did, and it's like, to me, what an achievement to walk down, the pediatric unit, and then you see fish swimming, and we had around the nurses station, we set up a peacock, and it was all color, and it's nothing that people expect. And when they come in and they see it, they're like, and it takes their minds off, because a lot of times, if these facilities have artwork, it's way high, and I'm short, so I don't even see it, or it has nothing to do with the kids. The kids are down here, so, these murals were big, and we invited them to paint, even the little kids, because we found that there's really no level of ability that, can't do this. We've painted with blind people, because they're community painting, so you can have somebody come in and just paint a whole canvas one color, and then we go back and we add the design, and then somebody else adds, their 2 cents, so, how empowering is it for people, especially, people that have to be in a hospital a long time or come back numerous times. Like, how exciting to come back to something familiar that they've painted. It's like, they're leaving their home, but they're kind of, that's a nice,
There's something of themselves waiting for them, Yeah. Well, that's the really interesting, fascinating aspect. I mean, if you had just been an artist lending your talents, I'll come in and I'll paint a mural. That's one thing. That's beautiful.
Right.
But I want our viewers to
drag everybody
to get this. Yeah, this is a community mural.
Yes.
You come in. Well, tell us how the process works. You come into like an institution, like a hospital or a nursing home. And do you interview the people there? Do you talk to the people there before you get an idea for the mural?
You have to, because, again, I'm going into their home, so to speak. So I could bring in designs and say, here, you're going to live with these. But that's really not right. What you're asking them is to have some say in their own environment, especially like a nursing home. And it's no fault of the nursing homes. It has to be what it is. But they have no say over what time they get up, when they take a shower, what they wear, what they're having for lunch. Where here you're saying, what would you like to see on that wall? And they're like, wow, geez, it'd be great to see a garden or something. I see the garden. This is, great. So we'll go in and we'll do the outline, and it is similar to paint by number without the numbers. And we'll do this big outline, and then we color code it, and then we say, here, come on, here's the paint, And first they're like, I had an art teacher who told me I was terrible. I really shouldn't do this. I'm going to ruin it. You can't ruin it. There's no way they can ruin it, because we draw with a permanent, so it comes through. So even if you paint something the wrong color, sometimes it looks better the wrong color. What do I know? And sometimes it doesn't, and we just touch up it a little bit, and then we varnish it, and it's washable, and it's there forever. So what's exciting in a nursing home, sometimes, people will pass on, but their families are excited because they're still living, that family members in that painting. And so, there's just a comfort, that people last forever.
Well, and again, let me get this straight. So we're talking about, if let's say we're in a nursing home and you want to create a mural, and you come up with a design after talking to everybody, the staff and the residents and things like that, and you come up with ideas, and then you create a template, which is very much like a paint by number.
Right.
And then it's everybody
comes by. We set up the day, or a time, and we'll do things right on the wall. We do things on like a banner cloth that goes up like a wallpaper. We do things on canvas, and some people will come out of the rooms because they're joiners, and other people are like, I'm not going out. So we'll bring the stuff into them, and we kind of draw them out, because they want to see. Like, they'll just see a part of it. If we do a set of canvases, multiple canvases make up one, so they'll only see a little part. So they have to come out to see, well, what is it in the end? What's it going to be? So it's kind of like a sneaky way of getting people out of their rooms. And also the exciting thing is, a lot of times people are hesitant to come out of their room because it's very easy to get lost in a nursing home. One room looks like the next, like an apartment building. So if they know that their room is across from, say, a big peacock painting, they can go out of the room, go here, and they know that if they trace back, oh, peacock, my room, there's Seth, and they don't have to keep asking for directions, which kind of dehumanizing after a while. You know, like they live there and they don't know where their room is.
So it actually has a utilitarian purpose.
It does,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
again, it's
yeah.
kind of deceiving. We're
Yeah.
very deceiving, I guess. Anything about it.
But in a good way.
It is, it
Yeah.
is. And like
Yeah.
I said, it makes such a difference, and people, I think, don't realize the value. And I'm not saying anything against the facilities, because money is so tight. The money has to go into how, you know, taking care of them.
Sure.
So this is like an added kind of thing, but it's a necessity, the same as, you know, oxygen, I think.
Yeah, well, I just love the idea of the process, and I would imagine it must be extremely exciting. You mentioned the fact that, you know, the joiners come out and they start painting, but, I mean, that's great, but it's the people who aren't joiners, those who are stuck
my
in their
goal.
room. Yeah, yeah.
That's my goal. Yeah, because they'll start, like I said, oh, you know, I really can't paint. I can't, you know. And they're the ones that, in the end, you got to, okay, you're done now. You're go back, you know. But they keep us coming back, so it's kind of exciting. And we painted actually in a facility once a month in a facility in Paramus. And the first month we painted with Alzheimer's patients that painted very well, but they really couldn't find their way from the chair to their room. They needed guidance. And then I was back there a couple of months later, and they remembered who I was. And what was, I think, I'm not that memorable, you know, really. I think they were so focused on the painting that triggered something, and they knew. So it really does have a value, you know, beyond what you can, you know, put a price tag on.
Yeah, tremendous value. Yeah.
Medicine for the soul.
And that's how you refer to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and really, I mean, it's in line with a lot of the science that we're discovering these days about how emotions and the mind-body connection, how stress plays into healing.
Well, you know, what I find interesting is they're saying now that if you make nursing homes more home-like, people are living long. Really?
Yeah.
Because, see, I would like to live in, you know, like a facility with nothing. You know? But that's just me.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
I want to be in a sterile sort
I don't want to have anything around me,
environment.
You know, artwork in color.
Fluorescent lights.
Fooey.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's, you know.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it does. And I think, you know, with the stress level, again, you know, I've said this, you know, many times. It's almost like if you have a cold, you know, and you're, you know, this is my last breath, you know, somebody knocks on the door, and it's flowers, and you're like, wow, you know, gee, I feel good. There's no reason, there's no medical reason that you feel better. It's just somebody out there thinking about you, and you have these flowers, and how cool are these? You know, this is great. And that's what I kind of equate our murals to. You know, people come up and they're like, wow, look at this, you know, like it's a mural. And, oh, they're letting me, you know, have my say. Because a lot of artists do. They'll say, you can watch me paint, but don't touch my artwork. Where this is like, oh, no, you're coming in with us. You know, we're all going down together.
Arlene, we're going to take a break, okay? We're going to come back. We're talking to Arlene Sullivan. She's the founder and the president of a great organization called the Changing Images Art Foundation. We'll be right back.